Hello there, welcome to Critical Reviews. Today I'm taking a look at Rogue Elements. I'll not deny it. The Critical Drinker, or Will Jordan, is pretty much, along with Jeremy Jahns, why I started this channel. I'm not holding myself up to the standards of those two YouTube titans, but I like to think that I provide a bit of insight from time to time. Due to the drinker's meteoric rise, now at over 2 million subscribers, he has been able to put his money where his mouth is, or more precisely, his subscribers' money. He started a crowdfunding campaign to bring the character from his series of novels, Ryan Drake, to the screen. It previewed for backers a while back and has now been unleashed on us mere mortals. Before I get stuck in with my thoughts, here's your spoiler-free plot summary. Ryan Drake is a shepherd, a top-secret, unofficial CIA operative, deniable by the state, tasked with recovering assets from deep behind enemy lines. When two agents are killed in cold blood after a botched operation, Ryan Drake has to go in and rescue the asset. But he's not alone. A shadowy figure from his past is also in the mix as a rogue element. Now, first off, let me say that I am going to be absolutely objective in this review. I like the drinker's content, but I don't always agree with his observations and opinions, and I'm neither one of the haters in the comments on the preview that were saying this is just crap, nor am I a fanboy white knight that is leaping to defend my idol. Will Jordan is Scottish. He can take a bit of criticism, I'm sure. So, let's start with the good. The budget of Rogue Elements is £300,000, or 1% of the budget of an episode of The Acolyte. Now, I'm not going to hold it up against that, as The Acolyte is a spectacular waste of money bordering on the criminal. I just wanted to give you a frame of reference, because Rogue Elements is not a 15-minute short like I thought it would be. What we get here is a full 40-odd minute long episode of television, a proof of concept, as the drinker calls it, designed to be a pitch for a full streaming TV show. And what has been produced is competently shot. It looks pretty good for its budget, and although it doesn't exactly jump out of the screen at you, it does look professional enough. Some interesting camera angles are chosen from time to time, and the editing is fairly tight, although again visibly on the lower end of the scale, as you'd expect a small budget production to be. I also thought that the music was pretty good. It's not overly intrusive, and it's not something that will linger afterwards, but it's perfectly serviceable for what it is. The sound design is punchy, and the guns sound like guns. Ambient sounds are also perfectly fine. The sound mixing is adequate. So, on a technical production level, things are looking good. The action when it comes is also unrelenting and surprisingly violent, with some excellent stunt work. Look out for the drinker taking a bullet to the face at around about the 25-minute mark. I wasn't bored at any stage, and I actually thought it was much shorter than it really was. I was very surprised when I saw the actual runtime. So, while competently produced, well above student level, in fact I've seen much worse from independents, here come the flaws, and they are in a place that surprised me greatly. It's the writing, characters and dialogue in particular. Now, I've not read Will Jordan's novels, but I can tell from Rogue Elements that he has a handle on the espionage, covert operation kind of thing. The plot whizzes along at a fair pace, and while it is initially a bit all over the place, throwing scenarios and locations at you in a not necessarily chronological order, it does resolve itself into a solid, cohesive narrative by the end. However, there are a fair few bumps along the way. The elephant in the room would have to be the acting. I'm sure that they are what the budget allowed for, but some of the acting is not good, and that goes double for anyone that has to do an accent. They are all over the place, not least Ryan Drake himself, who's been lumbered with a rather comedic Mockney accent, dropping H's all over the place.
They've been agitating ever since the articles were signed.
Till now they were low level, disorganised, not much of a threat. But according to Fedorov, things are changing. New leadership has unified them under one command, along with a big injection of money and weapons. If he's right, they're powerful enough to destabilize the entire region.
And push them towards Russia instead.
According to our friends at the NSA, he's being held in this warehouse.
Quite often, the actors let the material down, failing to deliver lines with sufficient gravitas, giving the product an amateur edge that belies the competent production. Elsewhere, I have to say that the material can let the actors down at times. The dialogue can become extremely cliché, to the extent that I was predicting a couple of lines of retorts ahead of time. They are exactly what you expect them to be. On top of that, the script is fairly profanity-laden, resorting to expletives when something else, more nuanced, would have provided some insight maybe to the character. Again, it's a very amateurish move from an established writer like Will, and it really undersells the characters. We know nothing about them at all. They are more or less just walking tropes. Tough, unagreeable woman whose favourite retort is "fuck off." Support dude with an earpiece and glasses. Stereotypes abound. Now, I know that tropes are to be expected, and sometimes even mandatory, as that is what the audience expects to see on screen. But again, I really just expected something a little bit more compelling. Not one character really stands out, or lives in the memory, and there are a fair few. Drinker doesn't give us a Mary Sue, although we do have ladies taking 4 punches from a 6-foot brute and getting up for more, but neither women do get hurt. I mean, the film starts with a woman being tortured. The film doesn't pull its punches. The Drinker said that this would be a violent piece, and it is. But you have like 2 women characters and I think there's 5 or 6 dudes. They're all just so interchangeable. I can't even remember the name of anyone apart from Ryan Drake or the Rogue Element. I'm pretty sure they were just Bravo and Charlie. I do need to state here though, for complete transparency, that Will Jordan is not the only credited writer here, so I can't lay all the blame at his feet. Writing a novel is also very different from writing a screenplay, so additional input was to be expected, but for me, the writing is notably the weak point in this production. Final thoughts. Rogue Elements is a well-produced piece of action that is let down by the dialogue and the characters and the acting. While the visuals and stunts are compelling, the final product has some undeniable rough edges. However, as a proof of concept, I think this does the job. It's slick and it's stylish in places, and the potential is there. With some spit and polish, especially in the areas that I've highlighted, I think that this could become the show that the Drinker envisions. Let's be honest, you have to respect him for going out there and making something more than just YouTube videos. I'm hoping that someone out there will bung him a couple of million so we can see exactly what a Ryan Drake show is meant to be. Not this somewhat compromised but valiant first try. Thanks for watching. I've been Critic out, and I'll be back with another review soon.